Yeah.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Ala's World of Finance and welcome to Stock Market Daily. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I've got a few things to talk about today. So we're going to talk about AMD because AMD just released some information about the Threadripper, so we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about some retail stocks because they had a nice bump today, but we're going to go over that. We're going to talk about it because Target kind of increased their guidance and that helped them and that helped some other retail stocks, but we're going to go over it. And we're also just going to talk about the markets in general. But before we get started, I just want to give the results for the last poll question that we had in the last video. So Ala's World Consensus here. The question was, which stock do you like more, Amazon or Google? And we had a total of 21 votes. 57% went to Google, 43% went to Amazon. So if you were on the fence, now you know Ala's World Consensus here, we voted for Google. Now, just to let you know, my vote did actually go to Amazon, and my girlfriend is actually invested in Amazon, so she also voted for Amazon. So if you take my vote out, and if you take my girlfriend's vote out, then you're left with 19 votes, and 63% go to Google, and 37% go to Amazon. So even more dominant here for Google. Now, I do like both stocks a lot, tremendously. I mean, they're both great stocks, and you could really just hold them forever. But at the moment, I guess I'm just a little more bullish on Amazon, just because I feel like Amazon is always in the news. We're always talking about Amazon. And, it's like, oh, you have a delivery, it's from Amazon. Amazon just acquired Whole Foods, so they're going to be in your grocery store. That's a cool thing. Where'd you buy it? Oh, I bought it on Amazon. You go into retail stores and you see people comparing prices with Amazon all the time. You talk about trying to do stuff in the cloud and Amazon Web Services and Amazon, Prime Video and Prime Music, and they even own Twitch, so they're even involved with gaming, and they broadcast esports, which is going to blow up in my opinion. So I mean, there's just so many things that Amazon does. It's just incredible. I mean, it's like mind-blowing. But at the same time, Google is also very dominant, and people argue about monopolies with both companies, Amazon and Google. So and Google has their search engine, and you talk about Google Maps and all their kind of cloud storage and cloud services and all the things that they do. It's just amazing. So I really like both stocks. I wouldn't have any problem owning either one. I'm just slightly more bullish on Amazon at the moment. But anyway, thank you everybody for voting. This was kind of cool. We got to see what everybody feels, and we got a good amount of votes here. So 21 total votes. But Google did win this one out, so 57% compared to 43%. Now, for the next poll question, I'm actually not going to do one in this video. We're going to have one on the next video, because the next video that I'm doing is going to be a stock analysis video that you guys have been asking for. So you guys asked me to do a stock analysis video on AT&T. So I'm going to do that. I heard you guys. I'm going to do that video. And on that video, we're going to have a poll question on related to AT&T. So you guys will get that question when that video comes out, and you can vote there. No poll question on this video today. So anyway, thank you guys for voting, and that was fun. So now let's look at the markets here. So let's go ahead and get started. So looking at the markets, and we're still in extended hours trading, by the way, but the Dow Jones closed up 0.10%, not 10%, up 0.10%, and the Nasdaq was up 0.21%. leading the three major indexes here, and the S&P 500 is up 0.19%. Now, looking at some popular stocks here, Fitbit. So I actually just made a video on Fitbit, and I got mostly positive comments. I think there was like one or two comments that said that that they're very bullish on Fitbit. So they kind of disagreed with me a little bit, because I mentioned that I'm not really bullish on Fitbit. I'm kind of okay. If anybody wants to invest in Fitbit, I'm kind of okay with it, but I definitely wouldn't touch it, because with their upcoming smartwatch that they're saying is going to really help their company and kind of save them, it's a premium smartwatch. It's very expensive. It's hundreds of dollars, and I don't know how much you want to exercise and risk damaging your premium. What was it, like $300 or $400, maybe like $300 smartwatch. I can't see that. I can't visualize that. I think that they're aiming for a more premium watch, and that market is heavily saturated. So they'd have to stick with cheaper, sports bands and things like that. And they're just not doing well with that even right now. So they haven't been doing well. Their stock is just keeps going down. So I don't know. Just personally, I can't really recommend investing in them. But that isn't to say that that I'm not wrong. I could absolutely be wrong. And today Fitbit actually went up, so that's very good for Fitbit, and very good if any of you guys are investing in Fitbit. That's very good for you guys. So Fitbit stock up over 6% today. Very good. Target is up almost 5%, and we're going to talk about Target because retail stocks were up today, so we're going to go over retail. And Macy's here, another retail stock, up, getting close to 5%, up over 4%. Tesla is down 1.76% for the day as well. Now looking at some of the gainers and losers here. So Gap is up over 5%. Again, we're talking about retail here, so retail stocks did very well today, and we're going to go over that. Let's see here. So Kohl's, another retail stock. Advanced Micro Devices. So AMD announced today they gave some more details on the Threadripper and gave some prices, and talked a little bit about release date and things like that. So let's look at it here. So the AMD Ryzen Threadripper 1950X, that's the 16-core, 32-thread with 3.4 gigahertz base frequency and 4 gigahertz turbo frequency. It's going to be priced at basically $1,000. So basically $999 or $1,000. And we're going to compare with the Intel pricing in a second. But looking at it here, there's also the Ryzen Threadripper 1920X, and that one is going to have 12 cores, 24 threads at 3.5 gigahertz base, and I think it's going to have the same boost as the other one, and it's going to be available for about $800. So a little, less cores, less threads, and $200 cheaper. Okay. Now, looking at it here, the chips and the motherboards should be available in early August. So some of the reports I was reading was early August. And when looking at it here, they also talked about the AMD, the Alienware PC. I think it was, what was it called? It was like the Alienware, I think it was like Area 51 or something, like Area 51 PC, I think that's what it was. And that one, they previously said that it was going to be released July 27th. Well, they actually confirmed that that's just a pre-order date, and it'll actually be released around the same time as the other Ryzen ones, as the other Ryzen CPUs in early August, because this Alienware is actually going to have Ryzen, so it's going to have Threadrippers, so that's why. Okay, now looking at it here, they also talked about Ryzen 3, and Ryzen 3 will be available in July 27. So we're looking at it here, the Ryzen 3 1200 and the Ryzen 3 1300X. Both of them have 4 cores and 4 threads. Those should be available on July 27. It's going to be great, and it's going to be really good for AMD to have those out. Okay, so let's compare some prices here with Intel. So when looking at the Intel Core X series, that processor family, so let's look at their high end. So looking at AMD's high end Threadripper at 16 core, 32 threads, it's gonna be at $1,000. Intel's high end is the i9 7980XE. That one has 18 cores and 36 threads, so 2 more cores, 4 more threads, and $1,000 more. So that is a much more pricey chip there. Now, the Intel Core i9 7960X has the same cores and threads as AMD's highest Threadripper, and that one is going to be priced at $1,700. So you're still talking $700 more for the same cores and same threads. Now, when looking at it here, we can also look at, let's see here, the Intel Core i9 7900X has 10 cores and 20 threads, and it's priced at $1,000. So basically the same price for the highest end Threadripper, which will have, it'll have 6 more cores and 12 more threads, and it'll just completely destroy this Intel Core i9 in multitasking. I think it'll absolutely destroy it. So, and it's the same price. So I mean, I think this is really great news for AMD. I'm subscribed to a lot of YouTubers who talk a lot about PCs, and they talk a lot about processing chips and all kinds of different stuff like that. And so many of them are just really hyping up AMD. Like, they're saying that they can't wait to get these AMD chips and to really test them out more and to play around with them. And a lot of them are very bullish on these chips. And I'm telling you, a lot of these people in this market, the market that they're trying to target, AMD and Intel, this market, they know what they're doing, and they know that Intel has been overpricing for a while, and they want competition, because anytime you're in a market, you always want competition. Okay, so you always want competition because it'll not only help with pricing, but it'll also help with performance. Okay, so anytime you have competition, that means you got to lower your prices and you got to increase your performance. So this market that both of them are targeting, they want AMD to succeed. I'm telling you guys, they want AMD to succeed, because if AMD succeeds, it's just going to be better prices for the consumers in this market and better performance. So I really believe that a lot of people are going to be picking up Ryzen and Threadripper and those type of things. So anyway, so that's just kind of, I don't mean to go off on a rant, but I'm just saying, I really think that they're going to do a lot better than a lot of bears are thinking that they will. Now, speaking of bears, AMD stock went down today. So AMD stock did actually go down today. Looking at it here, down over 5%. And they were actually doing good the last couple of days. So they kind of just pulled back here a little bit. But, you know, who knows why they dropped. You know, it could be people cashing in on this short-term profit, kind of like traders and things like that. And there could be some manipulation. Who knows? You know, maybe some huge investors trying to get in, so they got to lower the price so that he can get in, or who knows, to be honest. But that's why I try not to pay too much attention to it. I'm a long-term investor, and I try to look at it that way. So, and AMD's stock performance is still green across the board, and they're still doing very well. But their average analyst rating here is a hold with 30 ratings. But I'm telling you guys, I really think, I think people aren't giving AMD enough credit. I really think that they're going to be, I don't know, I mean, I want to say like around $20 per share, probably by next year. Something similar to that. Maybe not exactly that, you know, but maybe around there. And I really believe in AMD. That's just my opinion. I'm not telling you guys what to do, but I'm just saying that's my opinion. Okay, so looking at retail stocks, starting with Target. Target raised its earning guidance, and they said that they did this because they have seen improved traffic and sales over the past 2 months. So Target stock went up almost 5%, and that triggered a lot of other retail stocks to go up as well. So when looking at it here, Target said that they expect second quarter profits to come in above its forecast range, which was 95 cents per share to $1.15 per share. Now, as a result, Macy's and Kohl's, their shares went up around 4%. Walmart was up a little over 1%. I believe Dollar Tree and Costco was up around 1% as well. But looking at Urban Outfitters, Gap, Kohl's, and Dillard's, they're all up around 5 or 6%. Sears, Sears is actually like, they're even bearish on themselves, but they went up around 7.2%. So they're up very significant. And then JCPenney also announced some good news here. They said that they plan to revive foot traffic by putting in specialty toy shops at all of its remaining stores. And this report here that I was reading, it says that it's an attempt to cash in on customers' nostalgia for JCPenney's Christmas time catalogs. And the company said it's been pleasantly surprised by test runs of larger toy inventories. JCPenney's shares climbed more than 7.8% on Thursday. So their stock went up very significantly as well. Okay, so now let's talk about my opinion. So I'm going to give you kind of my bullish opinion first, and then I'm going to give you my bearish opinion. And to be honest, I really have more of a bearish opinion. But let's kind of start with the bullish side of things. So I was looking at this and I was thinking, okay, what would make retail stocks go up? Well, you would need to have a strong economy, right? You need to have a good economy so that consumers have enough money to spend, and then they can go and spend it on retail, you know, in retail stores, and that will bring up retail stock, right? So I did some research on this. The Bureau of Economic Analysis, they had a report on June 29. They said that the U.S. economy expanded at an annual rate of 1.4% in the first quarter. Labor has been doing well, and wages have been going up, and this can increase a household's buying power, which means that the household can spend more money on, you guessed it, you know, retail stores, right? In retail stores. In fact, when looking at consumer spending in June, it rose 1.1%. That's almost double from 0.6% in May. And when looking at the consumer confidence index, it rose to 118.9 in June from 117.6 in May. And a lot of analysts are saying that this translates to higher consumer spending, because obviously you increase a household's buying power, it's going to increase their spending. Okay, so now let's, so why am I not investing in retail stocks? Why am I a little more bearish on them? Okay, so I'm going to give that case now. So looking at Target stock here, they're up almost 5% today, right? But looking year to date, they're down almost 27%. They're down over 26% year to date, and the average rating is a hold. So looking at some other stocks here, JCPenney is up over 7%, and they're down over 40% year to date, and Macy's was up around 4% today, and they're down around 37% year to date. And then Kroger, you know, Amazon just took over Whole Foods. Well, Kroger, which does like grocery stuff, they went up 0.5%, but then they're down 33% year to date. So it's still not looking good for retail, to be honest. And when I look at it here, when I think about, why am I not investing in retail, it's really because of Amazon and online shopping. And a lot of these retail stores are not even diversified. So put it this way, you can't really compete with Amazon too much on online shopping. You can try. I mean, we've seen some stocks try. Like, okay, for example, Walmart, they're actually up year to date. Best Buy, they're actually up year to date. Target is down, but even Target has a decent online shopping presence. Best Buy has a pretty good online shopping presence. I've definitely bought quite a few things from Best Buy online. And Walmart has a decent online shopping presence as well. And Walmart even acquired, what was it, Jet.com? I believe it was Jet.com. They acquired them to compete more with Amazon. So they're doing things to try to adapt. Hopefully they continue, right? They got to continue to and improve on it. But Best Buy also has a really good gaming program where they offer like very competitive discounts to Amazon, very similar. And they also have a really good credit card. They have a really good rewards program. Walmart has really good online shopping. Walmart is very diversified in their store. You can go into Walmart and you can get clothing, you can get anything, food, pharmaceuticals, you can get electronics, you can get like almost anything at Walmart. But you look at stores like JCPenney or maybe Macy's, what would you buy there? You go in there for just what? Clothes, maybe some jewelry, maybe some cosmetics, things like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, you can get all those things at Walmart. You can get all those things at Amazon. Best Buy may not be as diversified as say Walmart, but Best Buy also does a really good job in what they do, which is like electronics and stuff like that. And they have Geek Squad, so they have in-store services, and those services can also come out to your house. We know that Amazon is trying to implement that as well, but I mean, that just kind of proves my point. Amazon is trying to take everybody out, and they're trying to do anything that they need to do to take everybody out. They're trying to form their own kind of Geek Squad service. I forget what it's called. I think it's like Amazon like home, I don't know, Amazon Home Service or something like that. But I think they come out and they actually do stuff like that as well. And now Amazon is taking over, took over Whole Foods. So now they're starting to have more of a, or at least they're trying to have an in-person presence, which is really the advantage and the strength of a lot of these retail stores, is that they can have an in-store, in-person presence. I think that plays to Best Buy's benefit, because with electronics, usually you want to get professionals' opinions, right? So you can get sales associates who are hopefully educated and they know what they're talking about, and they can kind of help you out. Whereas Amazon doesn't really have that, but Amazon is, I'm sure, is going to start building up that at some point as well. So I don't know. The point is, Amazon is a beast, and it's going to continue to be a beast. And the companies who are really trying to fight back against Amazon, like maybe Best Buy and Walmart, they're fighting back and they're staying along, but I don't know how long they can do that. And all these other retail stores like JCPenney and Macy's and these little clothing stores, I don't know if they can really compete. So I would never touch them. But I think those are great stocks for traders and maybe people who are shorting and things like that, and you want to take advantage of different like little dips and things like that, like traders and stuff like that. But as a long-term investor, I just can't really wrap my head around retail. I just can't. Even Best Buy, I like Best Buy, and if I was forced to invest in one retail store, maybe Best Buy or Walmart, but I would never touch them, to be honest. There's other stocks that I'd love to invest in more, and honestly, I'd rather invest in Amazon than invest in those. But anyway, that's just kind of my opinion, but I don't know what you guys think. But anyway, I think that's about it for today, guys. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoyed the video. And if you're new, please subscribe. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. And if you watched the video all the way through to this very moment in time, then you are, I'm not going to say your retail stocks because they're up today, but they could be down tomorrow. So you never know with retail. So I'm not going to say your retail stocks. I can't really say your AMD, because even though I'm very bullish on AMD, I think that, well, they dropped today. So I can't really say that your AMD either. So I would say, you know what, in the spirit of having that last poll question, I'm going to say your Google, right? You guys voted for Google. It looks like Google is the stock that you guys like more, so you guys are Google. And I believe in you guys, and you guys are a beast, and you guys are amazing, and I really appreciate you guys. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope that you all have a wonderful, beautiful day, and take care.